thing that Kevin and I both agreed on was that we wanted it to be as real as possible. We wanted the audience to feel as though they really were back in the 2nd century.
I come from a documentary background, and so I always start everything by thinking, what's the reality? What's the real thing here? Because I think that what's real is usually more interesting and more complex and more different than what people realise.
We've always wanted to be as accurate as possible. We sort of extrapolated from the stuff that still exists to create a version of Rome that we feel is right in Britain. All the forts were built to a pretty much preordained plan with a fairly specific arrangement of buildings the same way all over the empire. And we've built all of those elements pretty much as they would have done, using rammed earth and timber and real materials the whole time.
In most films, things are faked. But in this, everything's out of iron and oak and steel and copper and bronze. We've made everything out of real materials.
We want people to look at the film and think they're looking at something that could be real. And we've gone into a lot of detail to make that possible. Here we've had a couple of real blacksmiths working away in a real blacksmith shop. Lots of details like that to just give it that sense of reality.
I was excited and really interested to get into the Roman stuff. The more you read about them and the more you sort of saw the imagery, you thought, well, that'd be interesting to see how that would look on these guys.
When you put on your armor, your leather armor and all these things, it makes you walk different. It makes you sound different because you hold yourself different and the resonance is different in your chest. It wholly changes you.
Ready? On my command!
The idea of making the Romans American is a very contemporary idea. The Americans are the empire of today in the same way as the Romans were the empire of the 2nd century. They occupy certain countries. They have to exert their will through military might sometimes. To make a film that is about the American empire that is actually set in the Roman Empire seems like an interesting and oblique way to do it. We've created this tribe, the Seal people. We've had to sort of invent a whole culture and a look.
There was always supposed to be something strange and weird about these people, something they'd never experienced before. Logically, you thought, well, where have the Romans been? They've been east, they've gone to Africa, so things that from those cultures wouldn't be shocking or new to them. So what we needed to do is see something that was really quite unusual. Something that when Marcus first sees the Seal Prince, thinks, my God, you know, what are these people?
This world of Romans and Celts 2,000 years ago was very, very alien. But we've tried very hard to make the sets, the costumes and the hair and the makeup to be as real as possible. We wanted to make the audience feel that they're seeing an aspect of history that they haven't had access to before.